If your Chihuahua sleeps in your bed every night, you might think it's just because they love being close to you. But what if I told you that where they sleep, how they sleep, and even who they choose to sleep beside can reveal far more than most owners ever realize? In some cases, sharing your bed can actually strengthen your bond. In others, it can quietly create problems you never saw coming. And there's one mistake thousands of Chihuahua owners make every single night without realizing it. Let's talk about it.
Sleeping with your Chihuahua is one of the most debated topics among dog owners. Some people insist it's the best way to build trust. Others say you should never allow it. The truth is much more interesting. Your Chihuahua isn't climbing into your bed for just one reason. Their tiny brain is making decisions based on instincts that have been developing for thousands of years. Understanding those instincts can completely change the way you see your little dog. By the end of this video, you'll know why Chihuahuas love sleeping with their humans, when it's perfectly healthy, when it becomes a problem, and the surprising signals your dog may be sending every single night.
Your bed is more than just a bed. When humans look at a bed, we see a comfortable place to rest. Your Chihuahua sees something completely different. To them, your bed is one of the safest places in the entire house. Think about it. It smells like you, it's warm, it's elevated from the floor, and most importantly, the person they trust the most spends hours there every single night. For a tiny dog that weighs only a few pounds, safety is everything. In the wild, small animals constantly look for protected places to sleep because nighttime is when they're most vulnerable. Even though your Chihuahua lives in a loving home, those ancient instincts never disappeared. When they curl up beside you, they're choosing what their brain considers the safest location available. That's why many Chihuahuas refuse to sleep anywhere else once they've experienced your bed. It's not because they're spoiled. It's because in their mind, they've already found the safest den possible. But safety isn't the only reason they stay so close. There's another reason that's even more fascinating.
They aren't just sleeping, they're watching you. Have you ever noticed your Chihuahua lifting their head the moment you move or changing positions every time you roll over? They're not simply waking up, they're monitoring you. Dogs naturally synchronize their routines with members of their social group. Researchers have observed that dogs often match their owners' sleeping and waking patterns. Your Chihuahua learns your habits incredibly quickly. When you breathe deeply, they relax. When you wake up, they often wake up too. It's almost like they're running their own tiny overnight security shift. Many owners assume their Chihuahua sleeps through the night. In reality, dogs experience lighter sleep than humans and wake several times. Each time they briefly wake, they're checking their surroundings, including you. If everything seems normal, they fall asleep again within seconds. That constant awareness is one reason many Chihuahuas seem to know you're awake before you've even opened your eyes. They've been paying attention the whole time.
The warmth they love isn't just comfort. One of the biggest reasons Chihuahuas adore sleeping beside people is surprisingly simple. They're cold. Really cold. Chihuahuas have very little body fat. Their tiny bodies lose heat much faster than larger dogs. That's why you'll often see them burrowing under blankets, hiding inside hoodies, or curling into impossibly small balls. Sleeping next to you is like having a personal heater that never turns off. And there's another interesting detail. Body heat isn't just about staying warm. Warmth also lowers stress. Just like puppies sleep piled together with their litter mates, adult dogs often associate shared warmth with comfort and security. Your body recreates that feeling. So if your Chihuahua insists on sleeping pressed against your legs, under your arm, or even on your pillow, they're doing something completely natural. But here's where many owners misunderstand the situation. Sleeping close doesn't automatically mean your Chihuahua has separation anxiety. Those are two very different things. Let's explain why. Sleeping together doesn't mean they're too attached. This is probably one of the biggest myths online. People often claim that allowing your Chihuahua to sleep in your bed automatically creates an overly dependent dog. That's simply not true. A confident Chihuahua can happily sleep beside you and still feel comfortable spending time alone during the day. The real question isn't where does your dog sleep?
It's how does your dog react when you're gone? If they can relax alone, play independently, eat normally, and greet you happily without panicking, sleeping together is usually just part of your routine. However, if your Chihuahua cries the second you leave, destroys things, refuses food, or becomes extremely distressed every time you're away, the problem isn't the bed. The problem is anxiety. Removing them from the bed won't magically solve it. The emotional issue has to be addressed separately, and that brings us to something few owners ever think about. Sometimes your Chihuahua isn't sleeping beside you because they need comfort. Sometimes they're trying to protect you.
Quick question. Where does your Chihuahua sleep every night? Right next to you? At your feet? Inside the blankets? Or do they have their own bed? Tell me in the comments. I always love reading how different Chihuahuas choose their favorite sleeping spots. And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe, because every week we dive into the fascinating behaviors that make Chihuahuas unlike any other dog breed. Now, let's talk about something that surprises almost every owner.
Your Chihuahua might think they're your night guard. This sounds funny, but it makes perfect sense from your dog's perspective. Chihuahuas may be tiny, yet they often behave like they're responsible for protecting the family's sleep. Sleeping beside you gives them the best position to notice unusual sounds. That's why some Chihuahuas instantly bark when they hear footsteps outside. Long before you notice anything, they're already awake, already listening, already deciding whether there's something worth warning you about. Of course, your Chihuahua isn't planning to fight off intruders. They're acting on instinct. In a social group, everyone contributes. Your little dog genuinely believes they're helping keep the family safe. That's also why some Chihuahuas insist on sleeping near the bedroom door. Instead of directly beside you, they're choosing what they believe is the best place to monitor the environment. It's a surprisingly serious job, at least in their mind.
When sleeping together can become a problem. Now let's talk about the part that often gets ignored. Sleeping with your Chihuahua isn't automatically good or bad. It depends on the relationship. If your dog growls when someone else approaches the bed, snaps because you're trying to move them, or refuses to let your partner get close, that's no longer about affection. It's resource guarding. The bed has become something your Chihuahua believes they own. And since you're on the bed, they may start treating you like part of that valuable resource. This behavior usually develops gradually. It starts with something harmless. Maybe they stiffen when someone gets close. Then they block another pet. Eventually, they may growl. Ignoring those early signs allows the behavior to grow. The good news? Most dogs can learn healthier boundaries through calm, consistent training. There's no need for punishment or yelling. Simply teaching your Chihuahua that moving, sharing space, and getting off the bed leads to rewards helps prevent many problems before they become serious. Another thing to remember is your own sleep. Some Chihuahuas move constantly during the night. Others snore. Some demand the center of the bed despite weighing less than a bag of sugar. If either you or your dog isn't sleeping well, there's nothing wrong with creating a separate sleeping space nearby. The goal isn't to prove a point. The goal is making sure both of you wake up rested and happy.
So, should your Chihuahua sleep with you? For many healthy dogs and owners, absolutely. Sharing your bed can strengthen your bond, provide comfort, and help your Chihuahua feel safe. But it's important to pay attention to the bigger picture. Notice how your dog behaves. Notice whether they're relaxed, whether they're confident, whether they respect boundaries. Sleeping together should be something that brings comfort to both of you, not stress. Once you understand why your Chihuahua chooses your bed, you'll stop seeing it as just a bedtime habit. You'll see it as another way they're communicating with you. Tonight, when your Chihuahua curls up beside you, take a moment to notice where they choose to sleep. It might tell you more about your relationship than you ever expected. If you enjoyed this video and want to understand your Chihuahua on an even deeper level, consider becoming a channel member. Members get exclusive Chihuahua videos you won't find anywhere else. And don't forget to join my free newsletter, where I share even more Chihuahua tips, fascinating behavior insights, and owner guides every week. Thanks for watching. Give your little best friend an extra cuddle from me, and I'll see you in the next video.